Hey everybody, it's Angie and welcome to Hot and Flashy. In today's Foundation Friday for over 50s, we're going to be taking a look at the new skin tint from IT Cosmetics. It's their IT Cosmetics CC Plus Nude Glow Color Correcting Medium Coverage Skin Tint. That's a mouthful. This retails for $42 for 1.08 ounces and it comes in 22 shades. This is its first 90% skincare CC Plus for an instant healthy glow and brighter skin in 4 weeks. They say it has a buildable medium coverage, a healthy glow finish, that it's good for all skin types including sensitive. It's clinically tested to visibly improve brightness, skin texture, plumpness, skin tone evenness, healthy appearance of skin, pore appearance, and softness. That's because it contains 2% niacinamide. It also contains hyaluronic acid, green tea, vitamin E. It does have some fragrance in there. It contains a snail secretion filtrate. It is mainly silicone and water though. And it also contains an SPF of 40 from chemical sunscreen ingredients. It comes in a plastic squeezy tube with a pump applicator. So let me just show you a little swatch of this on the back of my hand. This is the shade light medium on me. As you can see, it's a really good match for my skin tone. The fragrance is kind of a lemony fresh scent. I could definitely smell it every time that I applied it, but it does dissipate quickly. So we are going to be putting this to the test today on my 59-year-old sun-damaged, less than perfect skin. It's going to be a multi-day wear test. I wear it for 10 hours. I try it with different sunscreens underneath, primers, setting powder, no primer, no setting powder, setting spray, just to try it with lots of different things. I show it to you in different lighting conditions. And so if you love a thorough foundation review, then go ahead and give the video a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell while you're down there. So let's go back in time to the first day that I gave this a try and see what my first impressions were on it. So for day one, I used a mineral sunscreen. I used my Dr. Jart Every Sunday SPF 50. I had assumed that this had a mineral sunscreen in it because every other IT Cosmetics foundation has had mineral sunscreen. I was wrong, this one has chemical sunscreen, but you know, you should be able to layer a foundation with chemical sunscreen on top of mineral. I've done it plenty of times. It works great. I didn't use any primer because I like to test it on the first day with no helpers. I used the BK Beauty 101 brush to apply it on one side of my face. This has a pretty standard foundation consistency and a light lemony scent. I used one pump for the first side of my face with the brush. So here's the first side done with the CC Glow. It gives very sheer coverage, but it does cover up some redness. So this side's a little bit pinker here and here. It's still very skin-like. It's definitely different from the original CC creams, which are so highly pigmented. They give you a ton of coverage. I applied another pump to the other side of my face with a Beauty Blender sponge. It feels very lightweight. It looks very skin-like. It doesn't look heavy and pigmented. It does feel a little bit tacky right now. The coverage was about the same with both the sponge and the brush. It looked natural and skin-like with a fairly luminous, soft glow. From a distance, I thought it looked pretty good, although a little bit more luminous than I normally like. But when I looked at it up close, I noticed that it wasn't really sitting well on my forehead. It looked a little bit speckly, and it had also settled into my smile lines. With the rest of my makeup on, I thought it looked okay. I mean, there's nothing terrible about it, but it's just not wowing me either. It settled in my wrinkle over here. Just not feeling like wowie wow wow about it. So we'll see how it wears throughout the day. So let's jump ahead to the 5-hour check-in. At the 5-hour check-in, it was not looking great. I can see how it's really worn off on my nose, really worn off on my chin, really uneven and mottled through here. It's got like these weird peeling patches up here. Yeah, it's just not good. I mean, I'm gonna hope that this is just because I put it over mineral sunscreen and it doesn't agree, but guess we'll try it again another day and see what happens. But today, no good. So at the 10-hour check-in, it was really not making me very happy. Like right in here, can you see how worn off it is and how like there are skin flakes peeling off right in the middle between my eyebrows? And everywhere else, it's just really worn off very inconsistently. So I'm like red, 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 bleh, gross. So not a great start for day one. I have always been a big fan of the IT CC products. They have fallen out of Holy Grail for me over the years. But just to compare this to the original IT CC cream, this is definitely much, much lighter weight. The IT CC cream is much, much more pigmented than this. This looks a lot lighter weight on the skin than IT CC cream does. All right, so for day two, I used my Isntree Watery Sun Gel SPF 50 chemical sunscreen, and I used NYX Marshmallow Primer on one side of my face to try to get better wear out of it. I used my fingers to apply the foundation on the non-primer side of my face. It went on okay with the fingers. It was a little streaky on my forehead and gave heavier looking coverage than with a brush or with a sponge. I applied another pump on the primer side with the BK Beauty 101 brush. It wasn't sitting great on my skin again today, so I guess it wasn't the sunscreen. It's almost got like a little bit of a granular looking thing on the surface. I'm not sure if my camera will be able to pick it up. It's so fine, but let's give it a try. It had that granular, micro flaky look again with this sunscreen, and it was on both sides of my face. So with the primer and without the primer, it's so tiny, but I could clearly see it in my 5X mirror. It just doesn't sit right and it doesn't look good. The finish is more luminous today than it was the previous time I wore it. So I added a mattifying setting powder to my T-zone to reduce the shine. With the rest of my makeup on, I thought it looked just okay again. From a distance, it looks fine, but up close, you can see the flakes around my eyebrows and by the sides of my nose again. It just doesn't seem to play well with others, and it's very finicky about what you put on under it. So at the 5-hour check-in, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. It had settled into wrinkles and still had that dry, speckly look in places. It was already sliding around on my nose and on my forehead, but it was wearing better on both sides of my face on day two than it had on day one. So at the 10-hour check-in, I thought it looked better than it had the time before that I wore it, but that it was still pretty worn off on my nose and still dry and flaky and speckled and mottled. And I just don't love how it looks. All right, so today's day 3 with it. Not a great start either of the first 2 days, hoping for better things today. So today I used a mineral sunscreen since the sunscreen didn't seem to make any difference. And I have a new favorite sunscreen, the Undefined R&R sunscreen. It's a mineral sunscreen, but very lightweight, very fluid. The primer didn't seem to make any difference, so I didn't use a primer with it today. I applied it with my IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe brush, and oh my gosh, did I struggle to get it to go on right today. I couldn't get it to stick to the bridge of my nose. It had that same speckly look all over my face. I'd say it took me probably an hour to get my makeup on because I was futzing around with this. I ended up using setting powder again to mattify it. I used my Honest Beauty setting powder on one side of my face. Then I had purchased a new product that I wanted to try, and this is the One Size Until Dawn Mattifying Waterproof Setting Spray. This is supposed to lock your makeup into place for 16 hours and mattify and keep oils from breaking through. So gave my whole face a spritz with this, and hopefully it will wear better today. Now, looking at it up close, do I think it looks any better today than it did previous days? I still don't. It still has that little weird dry flakiness going on around here. It looks a little dry through here. It's settled in my forehead wrinkles, settled in my smile lines. You know, while I think it looks fine probably on camera, I think it looks fine from this distance, I just don't love how it looks up close. So, but let's go ahead and finish out the review. I'm gonna wear it today and see if I can get longer wear out of it with this setting spray, but we also have to do the different lighting tests and the flash photography tests, so let's go ahead and do those now. Unfortunately, we're not gonna get a super bright sunshine test with it today. It's a little bit overcast today, but let me grab my vlogging camera and go take a few things, and then we will come back later and see how it wore throughout the day. In natural light, I'm standing in front of my skylight. So here's what it looks like. In artificial overhead light. Again, it looks okay, not great. I think it looks kind of textury out in the light, and if the sun had been brighter, I'm sure it would have looked much more textury. So again, still not 100% on it, even though I'm liking it a little bit better today than I was before. Took the flash photo in a darkened room, and here's what that looks like. And can I just say, my gosh, if this doesn't photograph beautifully, there isn't any flashback, and it looks really great. All right, hey, I'm back. It's time for the 5-hour check-in on the IT CC Plus Nude Glow Skin Tint. And I gotta say, today at 5 hours, I'm liking it better than either of the previous 2 days at 5 hours. Today it seems to have kind of like melted into my skin, so I'm not really seeing that little speckliness on the surface anymore like I was when I first applied it. And it's not as worn off today at 5 hours as it was the previous days. Definitely the side that I powdered with the Honest Beauty powder. I like how this part is matte right here. You know, I don't really like it when it gets really shiny in here because I feel like it makes me look a little sweaty. But some people who like a dewier finish, this is what it would look like after 5 hours if you didn't powder it. I'm a little disappointed in the one size spray that it didn't really keep this side matte the way the powder did. So the powder is definitely working better for mattifying and for disguising pores and stuff than the setting spray. Let's take a look at it up close. It's not as worn off. It's not giving me any skin flakes right up here between my eyebrows. Where I did finally get coverage on my nose, that seems to be still in place. Where I don't love how it looks is right here on my upper lip. I feel like that is looking a little bit like accentuating wrinkles right there when I'm talking. Even though this didn't keep it matte, I want to see if it will keep it on my face for the full 10 hours. Because if this could extend the wear of this from a 5 hour, under 5 hour foundation to a past 10 hour foundation, that would be awesome. Hi, I'm back. It's time for the 10-hour check-in, except it's 45 minutes past, so it's almost 11 hours in the makeup today. And I gotta say, it's wearing definitely much better today than it had the previous 2 times that I wore it. Really like this setting spray. I think that it really helped this to last a lot longer. So that was a good thing. Good discovery for today's video. So I don't hate how this looks right now. I actually think it looks perfectly fine from a distance, really wearable all day, very comfortable. But here's what it looks like at almost 11 hours. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I've had things on my face that look way worse than this at 11 hours. So let's go over the pros and cons on this one. On the pros side are the natural skin-like finish that has a soft luminosity. It really is pretty if you can get it to sit right on your skin. It offers sheer to medium buildable coverage. It looks nice in pictures and it's comfortable to wear. On the con side are the wear time. With the exception of today, I couldn't really get it past 5 hours looking very good. Today it looks good, but I think it's only because I use this setting spray. So this is a real winner from today's video, is the one size setting spray. Really love that. This can be very finicky about what is on under it, what you put on over it, what you try to have play with it, how your skin is that day. I mean, I just found this a struggle to get it on there and looking good. I feel like it does get a little bit shiny without powder. We can see that on this side it is pretty darn luminous. It's accentuating pores and texture. The side with the powder I think looks fine, but this side is just a little bit too shiny for me. It doesn't look good up close. I struggle with how it looks up close even now, even though it didn't look bad at 5 hours. It doesn't look great again at 10 hours. It's settled in my wrinkles, and it can just look very kind of patchy and uneven. All in all, I did not love the IT Cosmetics CC Plus Nude Glow. It's not the worst thing that I've ever tried. It certainly isn't the best thing that I've ever tried. Something very, very similar to this that I liked a lot better is the Kosas Revealer Foundation. This is the same price, $42. This one has an SPF 25. It also contains niacinamide and hyaluronic acid. Went on really easily, didn't have any problems with it. Just looked beautiful all day long. Wore it in a video last week where I tried on all new makeup and really love this. So I found these two to be very, very similar, and of the two, I would recommend the Kosas by far over the IT. And the other thing that I like better than this, that's kind of in the same realm, is the Tarte Maracuja Tinted Hydrator. This is beautiful, lasts longer than this, goes on easier, looks way better. What is going on with my printer back there? It's just decided to make noise in the background for no reason. Very similar, but only costs $29. Comes in lots of shades. This is a beautiful tinted hydrator, and I would highly recommend this so much more than I would recommend this. So that's it for today's video. I hope you found it helpful and informative. If you did, go ahead, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. As always, I thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.